We're back. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. Before we get into this next segment, I'm BKP and I'm here with George. Good morning, George. Just wrapped up a segment with 11th District Representative Rick Jaspers, Georgia State Representative. The campus safety bill, the governor.
Vetoed?
Yeah, and you know what's funny is he said. Representative Jasper said that the governor said it was a hard year to be the governor.
That's what he's paid for. He ran for that job. I mean, you got to make hard
The
decisions.
Second Amendment is not hard to do. It's not hard to grant people the rights that the Constitution gives them.
Yeah, the Constitution guarantees it.
But he finds it hard. And then he said, well, Brian, you have to understand, the Democrats on the side of the aisle totally voted against this. And I said, yes, all Democrats, include the governor.
Tennessee voted for it.
I'm telling you right now.
Our country's in a major readjustment phase, and not everyone knows which way to go to readjust. That's proven between what the governor of Tennessee did and what Nathan Deal did. Just as a small example, we still have a Constitution, and there are people who deny that we have a Constitution. We have a Second Amendment very specifically in that Constitution, and is supported by the Federalist Papers, what that means, and there's people who would deny us that. This creature in the White House now, Obama, he wants to have seniors just declared because you're a senior you can't have a gun. Who is he to do that? Why is he to do that? And worse, who's going to do it?
Before we get into what took place, that George and I will probably get in pretty deep of last night's election results and what it means. Let me thank some of our sponsors. If you'd like to be a sponsor of our show or get a commercial on our broadcast or actually get an ad on FetcherNews.com, contact us today at 706-889-9700 or send us an email, chief@FetcherNews.com. I want to thank Days Chevrolet down on 515 in Jasper. Circuit World, promotional code is FetcherNews.com when you go into Circuit World. If you're wondering, hey, I'd like to go somewhere, get a cup of coffee, and watch this show, go to L&L Beanery. They have free Wi-Fi. You can go down there. You can take your tablet, get a cup of coffee in downtown Blue Ridge, and you can click on FYN TV and watch our show every morning as you're enjoying coffee from L&L Beanery, downtown Blue Ridge, free Wi-Fi. Salon 84 Hair and Color. They're located at West Church Street in Jasper. Make your appointment today. And Clock Tower Gifts and Boutique. George, in one night, finally, the Republican Party has the opportunity to get it right, and I hope they don't blow it, because now they have several weeks that they can go out and raise money for the down-ticket candidates. Trump can fly around to different states and say, I need this representative to go to Washington with me to help me bring jobs back. I need this senator. You need to send so-and-so with me. He needs to raise money. He needs to raise money. And guess who is in turmoil? It's the Democrats. The Republicans took it all off the table last night. The chaos that was going to be in Cleveland. The delegate floor fight.
It's not going to be
they took it all off the table. This is their chance not to blow it. The Democrats that nobody's talking about. Bernie Sanders said somebody needs to let Hillary know this is far from over. Bernie's not done. It's the Democrats that have the chaos.
Interesting you say that. You know what Bernie has done for the Democrat Party? He's registered thousands of millennials as Democrats. And that's why they haven't kicked him out of the race, but let him continue his campaign, because he's bringing more and more young voters into the Democrat Party.
My prediction is not all, but my prediction is those young voters are not voting for Hillary.
Well,
because
we don't know. The Democrats think they are.
Well,
because they're Democrats.
But statistically,
I'm just saying.
Statistically, I think it was over 50. 50 and older were voting for Hillary on the Democrat side. The younger population is voting for Bernie. Hillary's not getting those votes now.
Well,
And he has said that he will not stand up. Now, this we see things change in a day with Ted Cruz. So I'm not saying it won't change, but he has said that he will not tell his voters to vote for Hillary. She will have to earn their votes.
Yeah.
They're the ones in chaos today. They're the ones that he says the Democrats will have a contested convention.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just saying. But, you know, the Republican Party, we listen to the Red State, all these bloggers, these who
Are they employed today? Are they unemployed?
rending their garments, gnashing their teeth, pulling their hair over the fact that Cruz dropped out, leaving Judas the only possible contender against Trump, and he's got a snowball's chance and you know where. That man will go down in infamy, John Kasich. As a spoiler, it's just, who's paying for his campaign?
Ed Bagley Jr. They're all riding bicycles together because they have no money. I don't. I don't.
But how did we get here? We got here because the Republican establishment destroyed its credibility as a result of its incompetence and its lack of kickback on Obama. And the party's winner-take-all delicate allocation rules were designed to quickly anoint the front runner. It didn't work. It'll have to work now because there he is, front and center.
Did you watch Cruz's concession speech and did you watch his speech?
I did not watch the speech. I listened to the news reports and the segments of it.
Cruz's speech was very good. He did a good job.
He did
a good job.
From what I heard.
He set himself up to continue to be a candidate, a force in the future of the Republican Party, and as a politician. He did a very good job. It was classy. He told him there was not a pathway, and that he was pulling out. Now, did you get a chance to see Trump's speech?
I did not.
Trump, to me, hit a home run, and Joe McCutcheon called me after Trump's speech. I think Trump's speech ended at 9:30 last night, or close to 10, and about 9:45 his speech ended, and 9:50 Joe called me, and he wanted me to know that he had now endorsed Donald Trump.
I got Joe's
Messages.
messages today from George Wynn.
But he let me know 5 minutes after Trump was named the presumptuous nominee of the Republican Party. He let me know 5 minutes later he supported Trump now. And Trump did a great job in his speech. Trump did something that I knew was coming. I don't know if I did it between 8 and 9 or 9 and 10 with us together. But did I tell you the other day that when Cruz got out, Trump would say he respected Cruz as a challenger? And he did last night. He
Well, that was a good point. He has to do that.
He came out
He has to
and
do
he respected him as a challenger.
But Cruz did say he was going to send his delegates to Trump.
That's getting worked out today.
It is.
It's getting worked out today because what Cruz did,
It has to.
is positioned himself. So Cruz has something. So we could have some of the things that we've been hopeful of. I think Trump has the energy to go after Hillary. Hillary does not have the energy. She's a low energy candidate. He's right about that. She will not be able to go toe for toe with Trump. She will not be able to debate Trump. Trump will not sit down for Candy Crowley when he brings up Benghazi. He won't let any moderator, we've already seen that, tell him to be quiet and sit down. He'll set them straight. I, for one, say that if people out there don't blow this, that's your president.
He's going to have to do one other thing too, and I think he will. He's going to have to re-educate the last 20 or 30 year worth of new voters on the Hillary Clinton history from the Whitewater.
Oh, he's going to.
Yeah, I think he's
Always
going to
going to.
expose her for all the criminality.
Absolutely.
Her involvement in the sexual predator
Absolutely.
aspects of her husband, and why she's hung in there. She was mad at him. I was listening to somebody yesterday on the radio said that that she knew about this all the time. She was just angry at Bill Clinton for leaving evidence of the blue dress.
We will not, Trump said that he plans to work with countries, but they will respect us. He'll work with them, but they'll respect us. Now, let me tell you what he went after last night. This guy's sharp, okay? The people that have called this guy a clown, circus, he's the nominee.
He
The
will
clown is a nominee.
be. He will be.
The clown is the ringleader.
I haven't heard that song yet, Bring in the Clowns.
He is the nominee. Now, let me tell you what he did last night. He said Hillary Clinton's husband signed the worst trade agreement ever in history.
NAFTA.
He said it. He went after her on NAFTA last night. He is going to put it back. He said last night, it's sincere. When you watch, he knows how to communicate. He has the Ronald Reagan. Remember when Reagan could get on the TV and communicate to you? When Trump's communicating, you feel he's sincere. He told coal miners they were going to work. And the coal miners were going to go back to work in this country, and he'd make sure of it.
Oh, he's got Kentucky and West Virginia then.
Kentucky, West Virginia, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Virginia.
Colorado, probably.
He told miners they were going back to work. I tell you, I think super PACs will develop the money, and they'll put all of Bill's bimbos on there, the bimbo eruption as they call it. And I'm not disrespecting those ladies, but you've seen the headlines, you know, Bill's. They will put as many of those ladies that'll come out and do commercials, and they will go all the way back.
All the way, yeah.
So, I don't know. We got anything? It's over. We got anything?
One paragraph, some blogger this morning, some citizen like you and me who just typed in their own explanation, had an interesting point I'd like to share. For many elections, the winner-take-all rules made it harder for the GOP to nominate younger, fresher candidates who might have more potential. From '88 to 2012, the nominees were Bush, Dole, Bush, McCain, and Romney, all establishment, and this person says rhinos. Then the 1 year when the frontrunner is not a Washington establishment politician, which is now, the allocation rules anoint a divisive, left-leaning populist with about 40% of the popular vote. And talking about Trump, the winner-take-all rules also cost the GOP opportunities to register new voters. Bernie Sanders has very little chance of winning the Democrat nomination, yet the Democrats have not aggressively tried to push him out of the race. And he continues to win states. Meanwhile, he is helping the Democrats register legions of young liberal voters. I think the Republican Party's culture of trying to cut the primary short has weakened the party over the long run. I hope Rents in the RNC seriously consider getting rid of winner-take-all rules in future primaries. That's one man's opinion, and he kind of nearly hits a home run with that level of thinking. And it certainly gives us pause and causes us all to put on our cognitive thinking hat and really try to dissect this from the point of view that we do have a candidate.
You know,
An outsider candidate.
Trump said last night that all the people when he started, okay, they said, all right, that Trump would not know how to go down to Capitol Hill and get something done. You remember that? That was the big talk. Sure. He wouldn't know how.
Yeah,
Trump said last night in his speech that he would they put pressure this morning. This morning they were putting pressure on Morning Joe on his speech. This morning when he was interviewed with Morning Joe on MSNBC. They put pressure asking him what his VP pick would look like, okay? He said it would be somebody political that could go to Congress and work with Congress. Take what he wanted to Congress and work with it. I'll tell you, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. Now, if you look at Indiana last night, and I know you can see my screen, there's only one Elkhart, Whiteley, Allen, Adams, and Wells County. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 counties cruise won. That's 5 counties out of 6 states. 5 last week, not a county. 6 states cruises won 5 counties in the last 6 states. I respect the man for saying, come on. I mean, California would be another embarrassment to me. It actually would diminish his value at the convention. Now he is bargaining.
Cruz.
Yes, Cruz absolutely is
Well,
bargaining.
I have to admit, you're right, and I was incorrect yesterday in suggesting that Cruz would wait.
Circumstances changed. You can have my rule too.
We'll wait until after California. He just dropped out so fast yesterday, and the reason why his 3 big backers said, "Hey, you're done."
6 states, 5 counties is all he's won. You can see the top of the screen here. He ends up with 53.3 and 51 delegates. Now, I don't have the equipment to do it. Lonnie actually doesn't have the time to do it. But what I would really like to do, and you will see it out there, I would like to see a montage of all the things that were said from the day he came down the escalator. You remember when there was 15 candidates and the next morning after an election, the first thing they would say, Trump got 35% of the vote. The first thing they all would say, yes, but we need to realize 65% of Republican voters rejected Donald Trump. Well, he was getting 35% with 14 and 15 people going to the polls.
17.
Now, 3 people, well, a couple had dropped early, but 3 people here in the race, 53%, all 51 delegates. And, so not a theory won. It took myself in the little town of Ellijay to keep them all straight, George. Not a theory one did they have correct. Not a one. Every Monday morning or every Wednesday morning after every election, they kept getting it wrong. And I'm concerned about Glenn Beck. I mean, I hope somebody can find the poor guy, get him a sandwich. Maybe he could start, doing radio again from a telephone booth or something like that. Try to get him straightened out and back on the straight and narrow.
They don't have telephone booths anymore.
Well, then Glenn Beck's career's over.
Even the drive-up ones at the gas stations are not available.
Glenn, if you're out there, we're worried about you, and you are welcome to call the show, 706-889-9700. We're checking on you because I think it will probably be tomorrow that he'll come out and say that God revealed to him that he's going to beam Ted Cruz onto the stage at the convention and anoint him as, and I know what this is sounding like. I know I'm going over the top, but the people that have gotten this wrong, the money that they've been paid to get this wrong. Actually, if you and I screwed up as bad in our life as they've screwed up, we would have gotten fired, and these people are getting paid. You ever think of that?
Lovely, isn't it? Do you remember in 1988, Bill Clinton won by saying it's the economy, stupid.
It's the economy, stupid.
Donald Trump's going to do the same thing now.
Make America great again.
He'll talk about jobs, trade, and American greatness. Jobs, trade, and American greatness. He started last night when he said the coal miners would have work and that the worst deal ever made by Clinton was the NAFTA. And his ball cap says, let's make America great.
Actually, that is the time when I had a defining moment in learning politics and prognosticating what would happen next.
You've never used a word like that.
Well, some days I can't
stand in
get.
amazement.
Some days I can't get those. We go 3 syllables plus.
Well
I struggle.
done,
So
Lord.
anyhow,
Well done. I like that.
George Herbert Walker Bush loses to Bill Clinton. Now the facts are the economy was coming out of recession and growing as George Walker Bush was leaving office. The economy was growing. Things are going in the right direction. Now, I'm not a fan, but I really thought the policies and the direction of the economy was set up that I did not understand why the American people voted for Bill Clinton and not George H. Bush. I didn't understand that. And I said this to my dad. I said, I just can't understand with all the facts out here that people could see against this guy and for this guy. My dad said very simply, son, people vote their pocketbook. If the economy's good, you can sell that stuff.
And our economy
if the economy
has
is
never
bad,
been above 3.3%
since Obama.
Since Obama
and the
took office.
actual people, the media has tried to lie. The propaganda of the media has tried to lie to the American people and tell them they were doing better. Obama's tried to tell them they were doing better. They've tried to do everything to take the American people, they were doing better. And guess what? The number one thing is when people come out of the ballot
The
box,
economy.
but they feel betrayed. Feel betrayed is the sentiment of the country.
And by both parties.
By both parties.
And the Republicans
Absolutely.
never
Feel
realized
betrayed. Lonnie, take us to, we're going to take a brief break here. Take us to the mixed bag, the political / business. We're going to take a break, and these political ads are paid for and sponsored by the candidate. George and I will be back after this brief break, and we'll try to wrap up what took place in Indiana and where we go from here as Republicans. Lonnie, take us to break.
I'm Sheriff Dane Kirby, and I'll stand up for you.
I'm Stacy Nicholson, Sheriff of Gilmer County, and I will stand up for you.
Stand up and speak out. No matter how rich, cool, talented you believe yourself to be, how you treat people ultimately tells all. I am Allison Sosby, District Attorney, and I'll stand up for you.
Truck Month is back at your new Dave Chevrolet in Jasper with savings up to $8,000 off MSRP. Right now, get a really new Chevy Equinox for just $23,200.
There's no Marvel Cinematic Universe without me. Yeah, I did everything.
Just $31,900. It's instant, easy credit with Dave's Fast Track Credit Center.
You're indoctrinating people into a
won't last long.
He's
Get
the
Dave
one that
Chevrolet
said it,
in
though. He made
Jasper,
this up?
where Chevy
I
cars
wouldn't
and
say he
trucks
made it up. Do you
cost
think I just
less.
called people on the phone and said, listen, you're going to do this movie? I don't know.
What am I?
Like
I don't know what you're up to.
You're right.
Did you? Well, Spider-Man is in this movie, which I thought is really fantastic, and it's exciting for the Spider-Man movie, which Iron Man will be a part of. Is that
Perhaps
okay?
I will. We don't have a contract.
We don't have a contract.
No,
you get paid for these?
No, once in a while.
I didn't know that.
You and I both grew up. I mean, to me, Spider-Man was my.
Me too. Number one.
That was my whole deal.
Because he was the funny superhero. He's the one that
Funny, he was cool, he was young like us.
you could relate to Spider-Man.
I mean, I don't know if I didn't
Save
get
big on service at Schadenkerk. Get a full service oil change for only $29.99. That's right. Get an oil and filter change, tire rotation, brake check, AC check, and multi-point inspection, all for just $29.99.
Give us a shot at Shot.
Get the $29.99 oil change special at Schadenkerk Ford or any of our convenient locations in the heart of Georgia.
As Bentley says, give us a shot at Shot.
Online at SchadenkerkAtlanta.com.
No. I like this Tom Holland guy.
Yeah, you like him?
I like him. It's about the person, Jimmy.
I see. Okay.
You know?
Well, that's very big of you.
Yeah.
Marissa Tomei plays Aunt May in the movie. And you have a scene. Aunt May is getting younger. It's like 16 and Pregnant on MTV or something, because Aunt May was an old lady in the other movies.
I know. She's seen ancient before. Now she's Marissa Tomei. He's got like a hot aunt.
You had to convince Chris to take the role of Captain America. Was that difficult to talk him into that?
Doug Collins can't defend his own record. What does it do? He tries to divert our
There's no Marvel Cinematic Universe without me.
and he's diverting it over Paul Brown.
It's like
He is refusing to stand up and talk to us about his record. He wants to talk to us about Winston. Any congressman that's sitting up there is going to
I don't want
try
to
to
say
help
he
the
made it up.
people
Do you
with
think
their
I just
issues
call
with
people on the phone and say,
Winston.
listen, you're
Any
going to do
congressman
this?
sitting up there is going to try to help their people with the poor engineers.
You're right.
Changes the rules on
I know
walk around
Spider-Man
the
is in this
grass.
movie,
Any
which I thought
congressman will do
is
that.
really
But will any
fantastic,
congressman
and
go up there and vote against
it's
omnibus
exciting
bill?
for
Will
the
any
Spider-Man
congressman
movie,
go up there
which Iron
and
Man will
stand
be
for the
part of.
ninth district
Perhaps
instead of standing for Washington?
We don't have
Any
a contract.
congressman go up there
Now, I
and
think
tell
get paid for
Washington
these.
what
Isn't that what's allowed? I didn't know that.
Instead of coming back here and telling us why Washington has to have his way. I made a note, not just any kind of will. Let Doug Thomas come back and sit down and get out of our hair.
This is Mike Scupine, and I approve this message.
Paid by Scupine for Congress. I did, and I'm telling you, it was just the same experience.
In 2015, our Gilmer County Probate Court, over 1,300 criminal cases, 250 estate and guardianship matters, and probate administered 110 plus wills. Those are very serious issues, and experience matters. We talked about the fact that every county with more than 96,000 people has a licensed attorney as their probate judge. The state requires it. They don't hear different cases. They don't hear different matters. And I don't believe that the due process you receive when you go to the probate court should be based off the county you live in. You want to have a judge who's been there, who's been on the other side of the bench, who's argued that, who knows it, and who can help you. Because compassion isn't always just about being able to listen, but it's being able to do something when you do listen. Experience matters, and I will use my experience in my private practice, in the U.S. Attorney's Office, and in 2 judges' chambers for the people of Gilmer County.
Yes, well, I don't take myself
Trust. Around here, we trust people who get things done. Like our state representative, David Ralston. He's cut taxes and balanced the state budget every year. And Ralston delivers new roads, new jobs, a new university, and the toughest immigration laws in America. Those Washington guys talk big, but never deliver. Around here, we trust David Ralston. Ralston gets it done.
She is something else.
I know we're almost the same age, but is there any chance you would adopt me? Because I would love to be.
Commercials are having a overlapping double sound, so we're working on that now. George, the Republican Party with Donald Trump. Donald Trump has already come out against Hillary. Now, the media,
We're still out against Trump.
They're against Trump. Okay. But I want to tell everybody out there, I have heard this over and over. I've heard, wait till he becomes the nominee and see what kind of advertising that Hillary does against him. Just wait to what the Democrats do. George, almost $1 billion have been spent to try to stop this guy at this point. 60,000, I think he said 60,000 ads were run against him. Almost $1 billion, 17 candidates. I'm not worried one day about Hillary. I know the Democrats will take $1 billion and they will run ad after ad.
They don't have $1 billion. They're hurting.
Let me tell you something.
The candidates are not hurting, but the party is not doing well.
Okay. I dropped our ambassador to Libya. I forget his name.
The dead one?
You've seen the video of them dragging him through the street?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So Democrats run an ad and they say of Donald Trump's Atlantic City casino.
He runs the ad of that.
He runs the ad saying, he doesn't say this, but so you feel I put 200 people out of work. I ain't kill anybody. Right?
Gotta say something to.
But they will.
Got it? Yeah, sure.
He will. He will not. I am
And
not in fear.
He'll show Hillary doing her dog barking routine. That'll drive people nuts.
I am not in fear one day of Hillary Clinton. Now, this is one of the only times you're going to hear the word respect Hillary from me in the same sentence. I will respect her as an opponent that needs to be dealt with. I won't ignore that, if you follow what I'm saying. But I'm not concerned one day.
Well, I doubt that now that she's going to be indicted. That's the only way she could be out of it, but it doesn't make any difference. If she loses this election to Trump, she will be indicted. If he becomes the president. I mean, there's so many RICO
Chris
crimes.
Christie is sitting there waiting for it. He will run ads. He might name Chris Christie as Attorney General before he names a vice presidential running mate. Now that this is over, you might see Chris Christie named as the Attorney General this week, and you might say, I'm taking on crooked Hillary, and I got the guy here next to me that's going to do it. And then you're going to have people like Rudy Giuliani hit all the shows, and he's going to say if anybody can prosecute.
And John Bolton?
And John Bolton's going to say if anybody can prosecute, Chris Christie can. And they're going to run. Judge Andrew Napolitano, they're all going to start talking about if anybody will prosecute and see this through, Chris Christie will. What? I have zero concern. You will get nervous through the process.
And that's what Americans
But
wanted.
that's why you tune in here. I'll bring you back down.
That's what Americans wanted.
You got nervous through the process of the primary. I told you weeks ago, don't worry about these state conventions and these delegate deals. I stayed in touch with them. I talked to people. Remember, we talked to people all around the state. Talked to a delegate from Pennsylvania when that was going on. We did everything we can to keep all of our viewers in touch with what was happening in the process. But I'm telling you now, don't worry about Hillary, but accept she is a formidable opponent. Worry more about the Stop Trump movement that can't just shut up and go home.
It will die of boredom. It cannot last. The conservative voters have said what they want. They have actually brokered. We, the voters, we have brokered the convention. Thank you, Indiana. And we're going to go ahead. That's undeniable. They want their milquetoast in there so they can keep their sinecures, and that's simply not. It's those days are gone. They're disappearing rapidly.
Okay, it's being asked out there. It's being asked in circles, and I haven't paid attention, but you'll hear it by the end of the day. The media is probably already trying to stoke the flames of now a third candidate, an independent candidate. Do you think we're going to see the Koch brothers? Do you think we're going to see the establishment that... I think that's why Priebus, the RNC...
Who could it possibly be? It's a desperation thing.
Sadly enough, I think there's a Republican bloc that would rather see Hillary...
Is she the third-party candidate?
No, they run a candidate that takes on Trump and pushes Hillary in.
All the good ones already dropped out. There were 17 started. 16 of them now, 15 of them now have dropped out. It only leaves Kasich.
But any of those candidates, George, could possibly bring in enough votes to bring Hillary in.
No, I don't think so.
Huh?
I cannot see it. That is the ultimate treachery. That will be the death of the Republican Party. People are already...
Well, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying that is the card that we're watching for, is somebody you will find out if they really want, because a lot of people have... This primary has exposed the Democrats and Republicans. And you'll find more people that'll say there's no difference. If you run into the man on the street, lady on the street, on the sidewalk, and you ask them, they'll look at you and they'll say, there's no difference either party.
They're both big government.
Right, there's no difference. So you're going to hear that, and we're going to find out if there's somebody on the Republican side that wants Hillary in. Find out. I don't know. I don't think so. I think Ted Cruz should be either named vice president, but I don't know what he brings to the table. But Ted Cruz is very well versed, has a legal background, has Supreme Court experience. I think he should be, I think Donald Trump should come out here as soon as they make the deal and say, you've been waiting for the next Antonin Scalia. I will appoint. The minute I'm sworn in, I will send Ted Cruz's name up to the Capitol for consideration for Supreme Court.
We better hope we have a Republican Senate.
No, I disagree with you. We better hope we have a Republican House and Senate with a spine.
Well,
Orrin Hatch has been spineless.
yes.
You know what I'm saying? So we better have one with a spine, because I'm going to tell you, if you look at the Supreme Court today, it is the spineless Republicans that put several of those people on that court.
Well, we're talking about Ted Cruz, and the Democrats will not confirm him. They'll bork him.
I don't care. They need to have a up or down vote on him, and
Well, that's what they're saying about the guy now.
Need to have an up or down vote on him and put him in and not care what they think. Not care. I think if you did a poll of the American people today and you said, do you want Ted Cruz as the next Supreme Court nominee, over 50% will say yes.
Yeah, but the American people don't vote for the Supreme Court. The Senate does.
No, but that's why we have representatives that should go up and represent the will of the people and not be spineless. That's the mess we're in today, is spineless representatives.
Well, I'm not arguing that point.
And I keep saying representatives out of context.
Yeah, you do, because it's the Senate.
They don't represent.
If we lose the Senate, Ted Cruz will never be in the Supreme Court.
I think. Do you think Sarah Palin will be in the cabinet?
No.
Department of Energy? No. You don't think she'll be in the cabinet? Do you think Ben Carson will be in the cabinet? He named these people last night. He thanked them. He thanked Ben Carson. He thanked Sarah Palin. He thanked Chris Christie. He thanked all these people that have supported him.
Because they supported him. Because they supported him.
I don't know that it wasn't a signal that these are the kind of people you're going to see in my cabinet.
You know, he could very easily bring over the CEO from Exxon Mobil and make him a cabinet member. Someone we don't even know.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with that.
I'm just throwing that out. You know.
I don't disagree with that. We're going to take a brief break. We're going to come back, and we have enough time for George's final thoughts, and we'll be back after these brief messages.
Doug Collins can't defend his own record. What does he do? He tries to divert our attention from his record, and he's diverting it onto Paul Brown. He is refusing to stand up and talk to us about his record. He wants to talk to us about Windstream. Any congressman that's sitting up there is going to try to help the people with their issues with Windstream. Any congressman sitting up there is going to try to help their people when the Corps of Engineers changes the rules on pulling water out to water your grass. Any congressman will do that. But will any congressman go up there and vote against omnibus bill? Will any congressman go up there and stand for the 9th District instead of standing for Washington? Will any congressman go up there and tell Washington what the 9th District wants instead of coming back here and telling us why Washington has to have his way? I'll tell you, no, not just any congressman will. Let Doug Collins come back and sit down and get out of our hair.
This is Mike Scupine, and I approve this message.
Paid by Scupine for Congress.
In 2015, our Gilmer County Probate Court heard over 1,300 criminal cases, 250 estate and guardianship matters, and probated and administered 110 plus wills. Those are very serious issues. And experience matters. You know, we talked about the fact that every county with more than 96,000 people has a licensed attorney as their probate judge. The state requires it. They don't hear different cases. They don't hear different matters. And I don't believe that the due process you receive when you go to the probate court should be based off the county you live in. You want to have a judge who's been there, who's been on the other side of the bench, who's argued that, who knows it, and who can help you. Because compassion isn't always just about being able to listen, but it's being able to do something when you do listen. Experience matters, and I will use my experience in my private practice, in the U.S. Attorney's Office, and in 2 judges' chambers for the people of Gilmer County.
Trust. Round here, we trust people who get things done. Like our state representative, David Ralston. He's cut taxes and balanced the state budget every year. And Ralston delivers new roads, new jobs, a new university, and the toughest immigration laws in America. Those Washington guys talk big, but never deliver. Round here, we trust David Ralston. Ralston gets it done.
Folks, before we're back on BKP Good Morning from the Office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. I didn't want to share this with you, but because I feel every viewer and listener out there is like family, I feel terrible. And I did not sleep last night. I didn't even sleep. I feel terrible. I'm going straight to bed as soon as this show's over. But when you have to come in here and tell people that you're correct and you're so excited because you were right about things, I couldn't miss the show. No. I could not miss this show because this was the show that validated everything I've been telling people for 6 months. Couldn't miss this one.
I could have done it for you, you know.
Well, you couldn't have told them how correct I have been over the 6 months. I could have wrote it out. You could have took a shot at it.
I could have took a shot at it.
You could have took a shot.
And it would have been brilliant.
Okay. Next time this happens, I'll leave this jacket and you can take a shot at it. Every day at this time, we like to give George an opportunity to share some final thoughts. And before he does that this morning, we want you to know you can go to fetchernews.com, and when you hover your little cursor over the news button, it will blow up there, and it has all kinds of categories, and in those categories is the opinion section. And in that opinion section, you can find George's short takes. He writes several a week, and we put them in that section. So FetcherNews.com, the opinion section for George's short takes. George, what do you have for us today?
If you didn't read this one 4 days ago when I put it out, before the Indiana primary, listen to it, and I would appreciate some feedback. It's unity, and I'm speaking towards the unity of the voters, not the unity of the party. Picture this: a brash, loudmouth New York Yankee goes to Alabama, and 35,000 people show up to hear him speak. He goes to North Carolina, and as many thousands rally to his words. Everywhere he goes, thousands rally to hear him. Of course, that New Yorker was Donald Trump. His constant, unchanging message is America first. Build a wall, deport all illegals, stop the flow of Islam into our country until we can figure this thing out, and close down the Muslim training camps scattered throughout America. I think it's unifying. I think because of Trump, Americans are now becoming more unified since World War II. Obama certainly hasn't unified us. No other candidate has matched Trump's ideas about making America great again, an appeal that a majority of Americans who, by the very fact of their attendance in their thousands at his rallies, clearly suggest that he has found the common theme under which Americans will unite, and that he knows what Americans, other than Hillary and that crowd, need, want, and expect. Americans are uniting behind his message, but it didn't have to be Trump. It could have been Ted Cruz. Our country is in a dismal mess, and it's the politicians who have brought us here. It's always the politicians who bring us to these points. The Republican Party is revealed as a gutless, frightened group of careerists refusing to stand by Republican principles. Ted Cruz and Mike Lee accepted. We are overrun by illegal aliens and we want it stopped. We are threatened by jihadists and we want it stopped. We send our work abroad and we want that stopped too. If Trump is crude, so what? He tells it like it is. We know that as a businessman in New York, he must often grease the palms of politicians. Think Hillary Clinton, for example, as a senator, to get things done. And we really don't care that he readjusts his positions, argues with idiots, or suffers fools like the media commentators thrown at him. Trump fights, and that's what we care about. He doesn't deviate from his main message to make America great again. And we know that if he has the skills to run a very large business corporation successfully, he can damn sure run our country successfully. Our country has been sorely weakened by Obama and progressivism. It is nearing bankruptcy. We are politically impotent in our foreign policy. We don't have any. Our enemies ridicule us, our friends fear us for our lack of commitment, and we are doing nothing to stem the invasion of Islam. Indeed, Obama is encouraging it by actively importing jihadists into our country as legal immigrants. Americans are uniting. We have become a nation of victims who nearly every non-white skinned individual belongs to a special interest victims group demanding rights and privileges we don't even recognize. Trump is the only guy who seems to understand that for America to be great again, all citizens must contribute by their labor. He knows the government doesn't create jobs, only inhibits it, and spends taxpayers' money unwisely, fills its own worker ranks with incompetence who can't be fired, and blatantly disses and dishonors our country's veterans. America won't ever be great again so long as we continue to fearfully cling to a government that encourages dependence, demand we recognize multiculturalism, and accept sexual deviancy, promote divisions by wealth, race, and alleged privilege status, while redistributing, and that's stealing, one group's earnings to give to another. When such practices are cheered and applauded as America's new progressive way for an American utopia, then somebody like Trump is desperately needed. Americans will unify under a fighter. Trump is a fighter. The free speech exercise going on by the illegal hordes in California in their anti-Trump protests is evidence enough we have gone too far. Time for Americans to unify.
Time for Americans to unify. I couldn't agree with that more. Yes, they have found Glenn Beck. You'll be happy to know he has ended his fast, and they have found him. He has taken the news that Ted Cruz has left the campaign. Folks, let me say something to you here. Don't worry. That's what I want to end with today. Do not worry, okay? Anti-Trump groups spent, now stay with me, anti-Trump groups spent $75.7 million on 64,000 negative ads to take down Trump. It wasn't enough, okay? Listen to those numbers. They are going to take this campaign, and this campaign will be offered in college courses all over this country. This will be studied for years. This is history book material. This is stuff that's going to go down in history of what is happening here with the traditional candidates getting super PACs, deluging you with millions of ads, thousands of ads, and millions of dollars, and nothing worked. So we all said Trump didn't know how to play the game because he didn't hire a whole entire staff to figure out what the states do, to figure out the delegates on how it all worked. That could be what hurt him. Trump has run this. You have witnessed for once, Trump has run this campaign with his money. And he may go to Washington, D.C. and have the same respect for your money. This is what happens. You have seen an example for yourself of what happens when somebody does something with their money versus somebody doing something with your money. Look at how frugal, and he won. He won. You go to a city meeting or a county meeting and you watch these local, and I'm going to go right down into the city and county, we won't go to the state, and you watch these local officials vote to spend $18,000 to investigate this for attorneys. $19,000 to do this, $50,000 to sue each other on the board, with absolutely little, if any, regard. It's your money at all times that they're voting on and making decisions to spend. That's what we have to get back to. Donald Trump has showed you that. So if you don't think you can get on board with Donald Trump because he doesn't have conservative values, and you don't think he's a conservative, why don't you really sit down and study this campaign for a couple of days? Don't go on Facebook and write how much you hate Donald Trump. Don't go on Facebook and write how much he hates women and you'll never vote for Trump. Why don't you back down for a couple of days and relax? Research how this man ran a campaign against 17 heavyweights, not no names. The Bush family. Yeah. Mitt Romney, although he wasn't in the race. Kasich, governors. Look at the names he ran against on that stage. With little, if any, money in comparison. He won landslides in 6 continuous states, and he won every county but 5 counties in 6 states. Folks, take that and understanding it's time to be serious about the debt. And the man that you need to put in the White House is the man that may possibly do the same with your money and get the job done as he's done with his money. He's tested. You understand? He has been tested, and he has proven what he will do to you. So for you out there that's saying, is he real? Will he really do this? Guess what? He really did this. It really happened. Now, I wrap that up and I say, come on board. Stop the never anybody but Trump. Stop it now. Stop fighting. Ted Cruz did not endorse Donald Trump last night, but he did not tell you to hate Donald Trump this morning. Okay? Make sure that's understood. He didn't tell you to go hate Donald Trump this morning. So stop it now. Get behind your candidate. Hillary can be beat. Don't worry about Hillary being beat. But you'll have to work to do it. Don't get nervous. You will have to work to do it, but don't worry about it. That's what I think, George.
Good thoughts. You're spot on. You're spot on. We have a probable candidate, one who has promised to make America great again. And the reason why milquetoast like Jeb Bush aren't there is because we saw them, they were seen and evaluated as not being able to make America great again, but carrying on the same old things. We have a candidate, folks. Let's rally around him. Whether we
I like to use simple examples that I think hit home. And we all know the take you out to lunch example. And we all show up for lunch and you're prepared to order the hamburger steak because it's $7.99, and then the person across the table says, hey, I'm buying lunch today, and you flip to the next page and you see the $23.99 porterhouse, right? We all know that example. That's the American government. When they're out there spending their own money, they get the hamburger steak, but when they say, oh, I'm paying for it. Oh, they flip the menu over and look at the porterhouse for $23.99. I think Trump will go up there. Yeah, I could be happy with a hamburger steak for a couple years. A1 sauce.
It's going to be a brutal 4 years.
Huh?
It's going to be a brutal 4 years.
We have to tighten the belt.
I look forward to it. 1, I'll be that old. And 2, I'm glad I'll have made it. And 3, it's just jolly good fun. What?
Jolly good fun. We're going to end on that. Our next commercial is a paid segment from a candidate. Stay tuned for that. Then after a brief short messages, we will then have the morning report. Stick around. We'll have the morning report with Kevin Hensley. Don't go away. North Georgia's only live online newscast with Kevin Hensley at 10 a.m. So we're going to have a brief statement from a candidate here, and then after that, we'll have the morning report. Stay with us. Thank you for being with us. We'll be back at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, and we'll give you some information on what we're doing Friday.
See you tomorrow.